Circle Send. Hi there, I'm Will Conover.
And I'm Matt Melmsetter.
And we're your favorite and only recap show of the Circle France on Netflix.
Number one, baby. First to market.
Absolutely. And we're here on episode 2, not 4, but 2, recapping the madness that occurred, basically. Yes. We were left on a cliffhanger last week of our top 3 competitors.
Yes.
But before we get into that, let's just hear our rankings so far.
Yes. So at number 8, Nicholas, played by Monique and Joe.
Yes, the two older ladies who are basically failing to pretend to be one of their grandsons.
Entirely lost.
Yes.
Number 7, Valeria, played by her husband, Maxime.
Yes, beautiful Ukrainian wife.
Yes.
Yep.
Doesn't mention it this time, but he does.
No, yeah, I think it'll come back.
In the other one. It'll come back. Number 6, we had Lou.
Yeah.
Model rights.
Model rights. She has that super professional photo.
Yeah. Hyper professional photo. Tied for number 4, we have Gary and then Ness.
Yeah, I would say 2 of my favorite competitors.
Good spot to be at.
They're not
3 to 4.
They're both very worried about being 4.
Yeah,
but they're pretty solid in the middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. And then the top 3 were a mystery until we click next episode
started up
on the Netflix machine, and we saw the 3rd place goes to Romain. Long hair, beautiful man,
handsome man,
very full of energy. He is livid.
He's upset.
He's so mad that he is 3rd place and not in the influencer discussion.
Yeah.
Meaning that 2nd and 1st place are home to 2nd place being Cedric and 1st place being Elia.
Yeah.
And we were a little confused about Elia, how she even got all of this fame.
Yeah. But she had the best profile picture and a pretty good bio as well. I think that can carry you in the first round of rankings.
Yeah.
To number 1.
Because they really didn't know much of each other before that first rankings. Because after these ratings are revealed, usually we move on in the circle to an elimination discussion. Yes. Who's going to go next? But we're given a little bit more time to breathe in the French version. We go right into a game. And it's the, agree or disagree game. The thumbs up, thumbs down.
Accord or d'accord.
D'accord or accord.
Yeah.
Oui, yes. And what were the categories there?
So the categories there are, it starts with like or dislike, agree or disagree. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with sending nudes.
Yeah, and it's a very common question in this game. Yeah. This game in the circle is a very revealing one. Yeah. Because although there's no kind of fill in the blanks or explain yourself, the in-groups and out-groups that it creates are super dynamic. And everybody is interested in which one it is, if they're with everybody or with nobody.
And it can kind of reveal, if you're playing a character that you are not familiar with.
Yes.
It can kind of show that, and we see that with
our older ladies playing Nicholas, when they vote that although in the first episode they offered to take a bath with the first woman who spoke in the group chat, and after that they vote no, we would never send nudes. Mainly because they don't understand what they are.
They don't get what nudes are. They're asking, is it an abbreviation or anything? And then I
feel like the word nude has meant naked since the Greeks.
Yeah. And when they're kind of asked why, they say #prude.
Yes, and proud. I think it's #prude and proud, and people are not buying it. But I would say common question in the circle. Nothing too crazy happens with that one. Usually it's the question of, are dick pics okay?
Yes.
And that one is usually a lot more contentious because it's a way more aggressive question.
Yeah,
are nudes okay in general?
Yeah. Different context.
But moving on, what do we got next?
Next we have, is it okay to spend hours retouching photos before posting them?
Yeah. Which is a funny question to ask, we have a professional model on the show. Yes. Her photo is super touched up and super color corrected. Her eyes are just popping out of the dang lens.
Super well done.
But we get all of the women and most of the men in the group saying, no.
Not okay.
I would never edit my photos overly to post on social media.
The only 2 agrees we get are Cedric and Nicholas.
And they're both trying to seem cool. Yes. They both think that the group will go, that it's cool to do. But they're kind of left out in the cold there.
Cedric is this is a strategic play. I'm going to try and make all the girls think that I'm cool and that I think like them.
Yeah.
And they all say no. Mm-hmm. And Lou, of course, also says disagree. And in her message explaining
right. She does have to explain it. Yeah.
She has to explain it. Of course she does. She says something like, she starts it off with, As you might have guessed, I am a photo model.
Yes. If you see my photo, you can recognize that.
I am a model.
Which sounds so fake. It sounds like I was thinking, but she is real. Lou is very real.
Yes.
She's just very shallow.
Yeah.
And she says that my beauty is natural.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, when I'm on a photo shoot, they'll make me up and edit my photos. But every day, I'm very natural.
Yeah.
I'm very laid back and chill. And
I think Cedric says #Pinocchio.
yeah, people don't buy it. People don't really like Lou, and that's understandable.
Fair.
Yeah, sure,
It's
I
fair.
guess, whatever. Final question asked in this, it gets very tense at this point.
It's agree or disagree, do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. So in the game of the circle, everyone entered to win 100,000 euros.
Yes, that is the point
This
of the
isn't
game.
a love show. This
is
isn't
not
a
Love is
make your
Blind.
best
This is
friend.
not- yeah.
No, this is a win the money show.
Yeah.
And almost everybody says, no, I would not do what it takes to win the circle.
The only agrees are Gary, Ines, and Lou.
Which is like so sad, knowing Cedric is
Yeah.
like one of the most conniving
Yeah,
guys in
he's,
the
like,
circle, just ready
scheming.
to stab anybody in the back. And it really shows negatively on those three people who voted that they would do.
Yeah.
And they are positively crushed
Yeah.
by the fact that everyone in the circle thinks that now they have to look out for them. Like
Yeah.
they're going to be playmakers, they're going to stab you in the back.
#Playmakers chat.
#Playmakers chat. And they actually, who is it? The two of them end up
Gary and Ines go to a private chat after
Yes.
the meeting, and they look like they've been crying. Like they both look very sad, and they kind of come to a decision that they're the only ones being honest about this.
Yeah.
True.
It's honest.
And they kind of form an alliance and a nice bond and everything.
Yeah.
In this chat, we see that Ines has a great picture of Dumbledore in the back.
Yeah, she has it on the on like her little side table. Is a framed photo of what looks to be her on the right hand side, I guess on the right hand side, and Dumbledore on the left hand side. Very specifically, the Dumbledore after Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
The current canonical Dumbledore.
Yes.
Maybe she's got a thing, but we never got an explanation. I'm happy she's still around because I think we might get there.
Yeah, well, that's gonna come up
Very soon.
somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only other conversation we get before Circle, we're kicking somebody out,
Yeah.
is the beautiful, out of their own little minds, older ladies
Totally
pretending to be, what's their boy's name again?
Nicholas.
Nicholas approaches Elia, who is an influencer.
Number one influencer.
And is basically just on his hands and knees begging for forgiveness.
Yes, Nicholas, they start the conversation saying, we want to flatter her.
Yes.
And then their first message is, why was I in last place? #chagrin. #crying emoji face.
Yeah. And it's obvious why you were.
And that's what she says. Elia's like, you sent a
It's
weird
very
message.
honest and very cool.
And she does kind of, I think, what the right answer is like, if you had sent that as the second message,
Sure.
if you had waited a day to send that,
it would have
when
been
we know
totally
each
fine.
other,
Yeah.
it would have been funny and fine. You didn't,
And then they follow it up with, instead of being like, yeah, totally, you're right, I should change.
That was weird.
They followed up with, please don't eliminate me. I don't want to be eliminated. And they get a response being like, we'll see how it goes.
She says, no need to respond, and leaves the chat.
Yeah, I know. That was, but the old ladies think they won. They were like, hell yeah, you're right.
Wonderful.
No need to respond. We're in the
yeah,
clear.
sure.
You know what I mean? So we move from that into our influencers chat, deciding who will be next eliminated from the circle.
Yes, we go to the center of the circle.
Yes, which is other seasons. There's the Brazilian is the blue room, and then there's like date room in the U.S. versions. But they enter this kind of nice area with these little
Gets
drinks
better every year.
Yes, of course. It's a beautiful little room that they get to escape to out of their cells that we keep them in. Usually we go through all of the players with these two, going pros and cons, weighing our options, getting clips of all of them agonizing in their individual rooms, being like, I'm going to leave. This time, Cedric and Elia have kind of a different way of doing it. They kind of pick their favorite people and keep them safe. Cedric, I believe, chooses... what's his name?
Romaine.
Yeah, that's the first one he chooses. Like, I love Romaine. Romaine's a funny guy. He's super
He's
chill.
very handsome.
Yeah, which is
I
very
think,
sweet.
a cultural difference between like the United States show and France
Yeah.
they seem much more comfortable being like that.
That guy is handsome.
That guy's
That
handsome.
guy is cool, and I like him. we kind of just go through one by one, and we eventually end up with our bottom two competitors, which is Lou, the model with the overtouched up face, and Ines, who is one of Cedric's best friends in the circle.
Yeah.
I will say some of the realest conversation we've gotten in all of the circle has come between these two. They speak Arabic to each other. They are they have each other's back, but it is Cedric who is I want her gone. I want Ines gone.
Yeah.
Because she's a threat.
Yeah. He's kind of it would suck to eliminate a friend, but we're not singing around a campfire. If she's a threat, I'll get rid of her. I want to win.
Yeah. But eventually they do decide on Lou as the exile of the circle. Her screen says blocked. You no longer access to the circle.
She cries.
And she's very upset. Yeah. She is this kind of stewing pot of anger.
Yeah.
And we get to see who she visits next. Because once you're eliminated from the circle, you immediately go to visit anyone that you would like and have a real in-person connection with them. But we're not really sure where she's going because Lou hasn't connected with anybody in the circle.
Yeah, she had one conversation with Cedric in the first episode. But
everyone did.
It.
Cedric's hot. Everyone was messaging Cedric.
Cool, yeah. Of course.
So she's packed her bag. She's heading down the hallway. Who does she go to? It's Cedric.
Of course.
And Cedric's chilling on the couch. He's all cool.
Yeah. He says, I'm going to be the cool guy.
Yeah. And she's not having any of it. She is for sure pissed off at Cedric.
Very upset.
I think you said it when we were watching. It's like seeing someone so beautiful that they have never been told no in their entire lives.
They've never been not invited to something.
And they're kicked out of the circle day one. Day one. She is really mad and she asks him, why did you do this?
Yeah.
First, he's like, can I give you a hug?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she says, no.
Yeah.
But you can kiss me on the cheek. Very French.
And his face expression is while she's kissing him on his cheek, he's not doing it back. And he's this is weird.
It's a very uncomfortable situation. They sit down on the couch, they're chatting. She is immediately kind of combative. She's looking for a fight.
Punches.
And he is just basically humoring her.
Yeah.
He's saying that the reason that she was left out of the circle, why she was exiled, was because she was a threat.
Yeah.
Which she takes, which is a lie. She was a threat to nobody because nobody knows who she is.
Yeah. Hashtag there's a wolf loose in the
sheep's pen or the circle. Yes, absolutely.
Terrible.
But it satisfies her.
Yeah.
She goes out of the room knowing that she was too beautiful and too much of a threat for the circle to even handle.
And then she shouts back through the hallway to the closed door, asshole!
Yeah, and he does not take very well to it. He's a little bit like, ooh, scandalized. But, as it happens in the circle, somebody's got to leave every week, and thank God it was not Ines, because I would have been pissed. God it was Lou. We have connected with Ines over this Dumbledore photo of anything.
We need that in every
We need a story. We need that there. So we wake up the next morning in the circle. Everybody's posting their status updates, kind of an underrated section of the game here.
Little inside circle Twitter.
Yes, absolutely. Where it really depends. It matters how many likes you get on how you were last night was rough. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know how we're going to do it, but looking forward to today with you guys.
Yeah.
And we get kind of a slip up again from our older practitioners.
Nicholas.
Playing Nicholas. Saying, did you write it down? It's
it's like, it is so beautiful outside. I am in a good mood.
Yeah.
It's something silly like that.
And immediately, I think Cedric says that's something that a grandma would post. Or
there's multiple reactions of people being like, that's weird. No one likes it.
Yeah.
In the phase where no one's liking that, Cedric likes his own post and then removes it because he feels bad about it.
Yes, because he didn't get as much likes as
Romain.
Romain.
He's jealous.
Because he's the influencer. He was.
Yeah, and he's like, Romain's status is shit.
In the morning, his checkmark was taken away, and he was so pissed off.
So mad.
But yeah, so we move from that into just kind of early morning conversations, and we have the girls' chat starting to form. They're all reacting to the video message that Lou left for them in the morning, where Lou basically all and out says, the person that I visited is a snake. Do not trust them. They have some game plan thereafter.
They're scheming, strategic.
Yeah, of course. We, the audience, know that it's Cedric. And that she is right to an extent.
Yeah.
She's a little too mad, but she's right to an extent that he is playing the game above all else. Yeah. So now we're, as the circle community does, they're all little Sherlock Holmeses. And they're asking people, who do you think she visited last night? Who's that snake? We get a few lies. We get a few truths.
We get a bad conversation with Ines and Cedric. Where Cedric kind of plants the idea that it's not him.
Yes.
And she
poorly.
Well, it gets worse.
Yeah.
He kind of he lays the hook down, and Ines kind of nibbles on the hook, and then he's immediately like, thank God you believe me. It would never be me. I am never that.
And again, this is something when we were watching it, I was like, this is so fake and phony, and everyone's going to know. But no, they both buy into it. Because later in the girls' chat, it is said that the Elia says, I didn't get a visit. And Ines says, liar.
Yeah.
Which is so mean. Because she wasn't a liar. She was telling the truth.
It's very truthful.
So at the end cap of the episode, our cliffhanger for the next one is a new entrant into the circle. We see them walking down the hallway, kind of big shoes. Probably looks like a guy or looks like some sort of big imposing figure onto the circle.
A ghost. Maybe it's Dumbledore.
It's maybe a ghost. And we're excited to see where that goes. It could be a catfish. It could be a real person.
Hopefully a catfish.
Yeah.
Will, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is your ideal ranking going into the next episode? You will only rank 7 because the new person doesn't get ranked for the first day.
That's right. That's right.
So I need your top 7 here.
Okay. Well, I think immediately Romaine is shooting up into influencer level.
Yes,
I think he was cusp, and now I think that once Cedric kind of made his moves, it was pretty ugly the way things ended last time. So I think we're gonna see Romaine up in the charts. I wouldn't put Gary up there quite yet. I'd put Gary at around 3rd. Maybe keep Elia in the circle influencers. She used the power very. I will say she was very a queen. She was. Well, actually, they were called King and Queen of the Circle.
King and Queen,
So I would say that I would hope Nicholas stays at the bottom. I would hope that Valerie kind of hangs near the bottom, but not in danger zone, because it's funny to watch this douche pretend to be his wife.
Yeah.
And I hope that Cedric gets a little punishment for his actions.
Yeah.
I hope he drops down to middle rank. And I know he'll be really pissed about that.
Yeah. We typically, after the first influencers, we very typically see a drop in their stock. They typically drop to, much like our stock market, drop to 6, 5. I wouldn't be surprised with him down there.
We'll see how it goes. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of The Circle, episode 3. They're all out there now, but we're taking it day by day to just step walk through with you guys. So please subscribe, all of that stuff. This has been Circle Send. I'm Will Conover.
I'm Matt Melmsetter.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow, probably, but we'll see you.
Night, Circle.